Super Bowl plans for this weekend? What do you have planned to put out on the table for all of your guests to enjoy? Let's do it in a healthy way, shall we? That's what our show is about today. In case we have not yet met, my name is Colette Wydeck. I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach, and I'm super passionate about helping women who are struggling to control and lower their blood sugar, lower their cholesterol, and release the weight. So, how do you prepare, obviously, buffalo wings in a healthy way? That's a great question. Because traditionally, buffalo wings are coated in flour and then deep fried and all that stuff. We can't have none of that going on. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make healthy buffalo wings. They are going to be the star of your Super Bowl party. So I kind of got stuff started already because there's a few steps to making this dish, but I do have things in progress, and I did things a couple of different ways so I can show you. So the first thing that we're going to do is these wings are going to be gluten-free, which means there is no regular flour in sight. What I have used to make the coating for the chicken wings is almond flour. So that gives us, first of all, no gluten. Second of all, it adds fiber to a meal that would otherwise have none. And if you've been following me at all, you know that fiber in your diet is something that I am so convinced, and I wholeheartedly believe that it's the fiber in our diets that leads us to have optimal health. Helps us to lose weight, helps us to control, lower our blood sugar, helps to lower cholesterol, helps to detox the body, does all of those amazing things. So fiber, to me, is the number one thing that you need to be having in your diet and having more of. So let me just show you. I have a little bit of the coating left here in the bowl. So I want to show you. And in this bowl, you can see is, let me get my recipe out. Got all my ingredients here. The recipe is up on the website, but it's not completely finished yet because I haven't taken all the pictures. But that will happen here right after we're done. So you'll be able to get the recipe, get your ingredients, and you'll be all ready to go for Sunday. So in this coating mix is almond flour, salt, black pepper, chili powder, garlic powder, and baking powder. Now, I've never put baking powder in a coating before. I read that it's supposed to make it crispier. So I said, well, we'll give it a try. If I don't think that it makes it crispier, guess what? That's something I'm just going to omit the next time because there's no need to put something in if it doesn't make any difference. But I put it in. So we'll see. But the first thing that I did, let's kind of start from the beginning. Hey, how are you today? Who are you rooting for on Sunday? You better be the Eagles. So the first thing that I did was last night I took out, and I thought that I had defrosted wings, and here it turns out I defrosted drumsticks. Oh, well, it's okay. It's still chicken. And what I did was I made up a marinade to stick them in, and I let them soak overnight. You don't have to let them soak overnight, although that's probably the easiest thing to do. But I did that I used a cup of almond milk, and I put in the juice of a half of a lemon, so that made it to be buttermilk. So, and I'm sure you've often heard or seen recipes where you soak the chicken in buttermilk overnight or, for an hour or so. But anyway, so that's what I did. And I also put some hot pepper sauce into that buttermilk mixture and stirred it all up real good. And that's what I soaked the chicken in overnight. So the hot sauce that I used is Frank's because let me just tell you, every single recipe on the whole internet worldwide uses Frank's as their hot sauce. And so that's what I did. However, what I've come to find out is that Frank's is pretty high in sodium. So it doesn't look like it when you look at it on the label, but there's actually 190 grams of sodium per teaspoon. That's a lot, especially when you're using like a cup a cup is a lot of teaspoons. So this recipe right now, the way it is pretty high in sodium. That being said, I don't think you're going to have all of the sodium, because I don't think, first of all of the half a cup or whatever that I used in the slurry last night while it was soaking, I threw that away. I mean, it's soaked in it. So did some of the sodium get into the chicken? Sure, but certainly not all of it. And we're obviously not eating that. Second thing is, did you know blue cheese is loaded with salt? Who knew? Like tons of salt. So those two ingredients really bump up the sodium in this recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own hot pepper sauce, and I'm going to do it with much less sodium so that it will be much more heart healthy. However, as a special treat, go for it. Just make sure you drink lots and lots and lots of water, because that will, help to negate some of that sodium intake, and to help to flush it out of your system. So, okay, so that was the first step, and I let them soak overnight. Then I took the chicken out and I coated it in that coating, and then I put it back in the refrigerator, and I let it sit in there for an hour so that it could kind of, dry out and, get ready to go in the oven. And then I put it in the oven. So let me show you. I've had them in the oven now for just over half an hour, and they are looking, and oh my goodness, my kitchen smells so good. You need to be here. Somebody needs to invent smell-o-vision. Okay, my glass is just all fogged up. But as you can see, how delicious does that look, right? And you know what? I think that baking powder does make the crust crispier. I think I like it. So they're not quite done yet, but oh man, so good. They smell so delicious. So that's what they look like right now. Get these put back in the oven. Okay, so let's see who I have on here today. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Mercedes. Hi, Denise. Hi, Judy. Let's see. How are you guys all doing today? Who are you rooting for on Sunday? Tell me. I want to know. Put in the comments who you're rooting for today. And as you're hopping on, make sure that you say hello. Make sure you put in where you're coming from. And if you're new to my show, please put new in the comments so I can shout you out special. I love new followers. That's awesome. Okay, so then the next step is you saw that 3 of those were coated in the hot sauce. And that is, I have that right here. I cooked this earlier. And this is a half a cup of the hot sauce, 1 tablespoon of raw honey, 3 tablespoons of grass-fed butter. It also has the juice of like a tablespoon of lime juice. So my lime was pretty big and juicy, so I only used a half of a lime. It's got a teaspoon of chili powder. It's got a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and some ground black pepper. Now, if you like your wings super duper hot, you can also feel free to add extra cayenne pepper in here. I don't, so I didn't. But I can tell you, you know what? That tastes awesome. I thought it was going to be burning hot, but it's actually not. It's actually pretty good. So what do you know what the purpose of putting butter in there is? Putting the butter in there, and here's the other thing. Most recipes call for like a whole stick of butter. That's way too much butter as far as I'm concerned. So, but the butter is you use butter because it cuts the heat, first of all. And the other thing it does, okay, it's a little hot. Where's my water? Ugh. But it's good. Must be why you have the blue cheese sauce, right? So anyway, the butter, in addition to helping to cut the heat a little bit, it also makes it a little bit creamy too. So, and as you can see, this sauce looks pretty darn nice and creamy, right? It's yummy. Okay, so now let's get on to the third part, which is obviously our blue cheese sauce. And I chose to save and make that with you guys here on the show. And it's a super simple recipe too. And like every single recipe that I looked at, they all call for like half mayonnaise, half sour cream. Neither one of those ingredients, sour cream's not too bad, but mayonnaise, something that I tried to, limit. So we're going to use Greek yogurt, which is an amazing substitute, and it takes the place of both of the mayonnaise and of the sour cream. So this is a half a cup, and you can see this is, oh, I guess you can't see. There we go. You can see this is a nice, thick, rich Greek yogurt. So we're going to put that in there. Yum. And to that, I'm going to add in, this is a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm also going to put in the juice of 1/2 of a lemon. And that'll give it a little bit of extra zingy. And it's going to be super good. Now, you don't have to put this in your food processor. I just think it'll make it a little bit easier, because what we're going to do is we're just going to munch it up a little bit with 1/2 of our blue cheese here, so that the crumbles get all kind of like smushed up inside of it, and then we'll just stir in the rest of them. It looks like an awful lot of blue cheese. Okay, so let's just give this a little bit of a whirl. You can see that's just kind of, oh yeah. And if you're not a really big fan of blue cheese, you could really use a lot less blue cheese in this dressing, or you could skip the blue cheese altogether and just make kind of like a ranch dressing. That would work just as well. And you would save a whole lot of sodium, because like I said, I was shocked. Yeah. This is 1 ounce of blue cheese, and this 1 ounce bag is 5 servings, and there's 380 milligrams of sodium in 1 serving. So you want to times that 380 by 5, and that's how much sodium is in here. So the recipe calls for 10 servings. So because I put down to use 3 pounds of chicken wings, and that's a lot of chicken wings. So obviously, you can go on my website, and all of my recipes, you can adjust the serving sizes. So you can put less or more, depending on how many people you're planning on serving on Sunday. And it will adjust all of the ingredients right there for you, so you don't have to figure anything out, which makes it super simple and easy. I love that. So let's put this in our bowl here and give it a little taste test. I think it's going to be yummy. Looks awful good. Looks super good. And you can see we have eliminated all of the fat and all of that stuff from mayonnaise. by just using Greek yogurt instead. And it's going to be nice and tangy and good. So let's just give it a little taste test here, shall we? Oh my goodness. That is the very best blue cheese sauce I've ever tasted in my life. And you know what? It is so good that I don't think I'm going to add in the rest of that blue cheese, which that's going to save us a lot of sodium. And this is going to get just put right in the refrigerator, and it's going to get all marinated together. All those flavors are going to get to know each other really good, and they'll be already yummy for Sunday. Now, it is really thick. As you can see, it's really, really thick. So if you would like to have your sauce a little bit thinner, you can always just make up a little bit of buttermilk with the almond milk and a little bit more lemon juice, and you can put it in there a little bit at a time until it gets to the consistency that you really want. So that is my my instruction for that. And then the very last thing is, hello, gotta have celery, right? So we're just gonna cut up the celery here, and I think we're just gonna cut it like this. And make sure you save those ends so you can use them to make some yummy vegetable or chicken or beef stock. Don't throw that away. Put that right in your freezer. That's perfect. And I love to dip. That's probably one of my favorite things. Not only do I like to dip my chicken in there, I like to dip my celery in there too. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, so that wraps up talking about how to make these delicious and healthy baked buffalo wings for your Super Bowl Sunday party. Hey, BJ. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, Linda. Hey, Judy. Hey, Debbie. So, before I let you go, I wanted to let you know that my 12-week I Quit Smoking smoking challenge is starting today. So if you wanted to join that, put quit in the comments or send me a private message. If you don't want anybody to know, just send me a private message. I will send you the information. You can join us. Otherwise, the doors are going to be closed tomorrow morning. And they won't reopen again for, probably 4 or 5 months. So if you are interested in quitting smoking, now's the time to join us. We're kicking off today. We're having a great time. It's going to be super simple. It's going to be completely different than anything you've ever tried before. So if you're trying to quit, I invite you to come and join us. So I hope that you guys have a great weekend planned. I know I'm going to be rooting for my Eagles, and I hope you are too. And I hope you're having a great Thursday. And I will see you again next Thursday right here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, here's to your health. Bye-bye.